Mexico and brought a retreat there. And then, like you had said, I went to India. And so I started to expand, spread my wings a little bit. I started to really, this is big. And if I just show up and say, yes, I can do this. It only took me to buy a plane ticket to go to India. Why did I wait all these years to do something like that and to go on my own? And it was so easy. Click on the computer, and then I had a ticket and I was going, And so I kind of had this, I freed up space inside myself somewhere, and I took the leap, and I told the woman that I work for, Dagmar, that I work for presently, I told her I was interested in teaching in her beautiful studio, and she said, oh, nobody ever leaves. So, thanks for your name, and we'll get back to you, and blah, blah, blah. And so I went off to India, and I said, okay, if she contacts me before I return, then I know. And sure enough, she did. I never expected it. And so I came back from India, and 3 weeks later I came here, and I've never looked back. I never sold my place in Florida. Like, I took care of nothing. I mean, really, I packed my suitcase and I came here, and I thought, okay, you have to leave the country here every 90 days to get your passport stamped. So I would go back to the United States to get my passport stamped. I didn't have to go to the United States, but I chose to go back, and I would get rid of a few things in the condo, and slowly but surely, with each trip, I cleared out my condominium, and now I rent it. But like, I didn't, sometimes people feel like they have to have everything in a row and all neatly tied up when you leave. It doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. I said, I'm living in Costa Rica now, even though I still had my place, but I had fully immersed myself here. Of course.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. I think that we can sometimes just take a leap of faith in, the safety net will appear. There's sort of a saying like that, where you just sort of, jump out of the airplane and the parachute, build the parachute on the way down. But sometimes you just have to go for it, right?
Yes, for sure. And I mean, really, honestly, too, only a few weeks into teaching here, so this was 2018, I fell in love. And so that made it really easy to stay. And so much in my life had shifted. I went from complete and utter devastation, sadness, and grief to a completely peaceful, beautiful, loving, changed life. So I guess I wanted to say, really, it's possible for anybody. Sometimes tragedy, trauma gives us sort of the kick in the pants to do something different. If you're lucky enough to, or blessed enough with grace to have vision in that time, that it can be different. And so maybe somebody listening today will just, maybe feel it in their hearts that if they're going through a difficult time, this is when you're ripe for change. This is when the magic can happen. And
that's beautiful, Eva. That's beautiful. And I think a lot of people, I bet we do have listeners who are, as you say, maybe going through a difficult time, and just overall, I think many of us are struggling right now, mentally, emotionally. Life isn't normal right now for most of us. And so I think that's a good message to know that, life, things can change for the better. And keep the faith,
Yes, for sure. I want to say too, like when I mentioned I had traveled and I realized, the world is this tremendous place, and yet also very small, because all it takes is to, buy a ticket and there you go, right?
There you go.
I recognize and really feel really for the rest of the world during this time of COVID, I feel, in a sense, I've been in a little bit of a bubble here. I mean, certainly we're also experiencing it. We have to put our mask on to go into the supermarket, but really, we're so tiny and remote. We've had almost no cases here, so we've been very blessed in that way. And being in fresh air and having all of this incredible incredibly oxygenated air from all of the plants and the trees. And then we have the rivers, they emit all these incredible negative ions surrounding us, really keeping us healthy, really. We live in a blue zone, so this is an area where people tend to live to be over 100 years old. And so I believe that our immunity may be a little stronger than in some of the cities because we are blessed with a slower pace. And so I guess what I want to say is this time in COVID, I know people are in lockdown still in places. Hang in there, right? When the time comes, maybe this is an opportunity for people to just press the button on their computer and buy that ticket and go somewhere where you can breathe, where you have space, where you feel free again. I feel I've been really blessed with that gift here, and I would wish that for everybody. We all deserve to have it. I'm not special. I just am blessed enough to have tapped into it. And so it's here and in many, many other places around the world. And so, yeah.
Yeah,
I wish that.
I wish that for all of us too, Eva. I really do. It's again part of the reason why I'm doing a show like this and in the
Sure.
world, right? I mean, it's really the more conversations I have, it's really not such a big world, and you can, as you say, book that plane ticket and travel and maybe it's a little bit today's world right now it's little
Yeah,
more challenging. It still can
of
get
course.
done or or certainly we'll be able to, we can travel in the near future. So I think those are all amazing messages. I know that our time is going to be up in a few minutes. Is there any do you have a, I don't know if you're teaching or if you have like a social media group that you have people follow you on. Is there anything you want to share with our listeners before we hang up?
Sure. So thank you for even offering that. Yeah, so on Facebook, I'm Eva Marie Yoga 108. I'm sorry, Eva Marie Yoga on Facebook, Eva Marie Yoga 108 on Instagram. And I have a website, which you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but I lapsed, or my credit card was the wrong one on my website to renew my name. But it should be back up, I think, today. So,
Oh, good.
and that's just evamarieyoga.com. So if it's not up, maybe look for it in the next day or two. I should have it up and running again.
That sounds good. And I'll, when we're ready to kind of put together, share this segment, this episode and put together a blog post, I'll certainly share those links to our readers and listeners.
Yes. Well, and I want to say too, I work at Montezuma Yoga, which is in Los Mangos Hotel. And that's owned by the wonderful Dagmar Spremberg. She's been the pioneer here in Montezuma for 20 years. And so if you get traveling at some point and come see me at Montezuma Yoga.
Awesome. Well, I hate to hang up. I don't want to lose the nice ocean sound and your wonderful self. And I could just chat with you all day, truly.
Me too.
So the 2 minutes is up. Maybe just like one final thing we want to share with people about staying healthy or being a true yogi or whatever you want to say. We're really just about out of time. So any final thoughts?
Sure. Just that, everything we do is a practice, whether it's yoga, whether it's changing your mindset, whether it's eating, whatever it is. So even during this time in COVID, when you're in lockdown, maybe start to create a practice in whatever the thing is. You know what it is. Only you know, right? Only you truly know what's going on inside of you. And so whatever maybe isn't serving you anymore, take this time to let it go and invite in all the things of your heart, things of love and light and joy and beauty, peace, inner healing and transformation. So this is all of that.
Good. I think that's a great note to end on. I thank you so much. It's been such a joy to have you join us here on Wonder Around the World. Eva, I wish you all the best, and let's please stay in touch.
Thank you for sure, Debbie. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us. For now, our time is up. This is Deborah DePietro, and I hope you've enjoyed your time with me, wandering around the world. Perhaps you've been reminded about something wonderful in your own backyard, learned something about a faraway place, or got some ideas for future trips, here's to keeping wonder alive, moving forward, and connecting with our global neighbors. See you next time.